Knowing is being familiar with a subject or an object. Knowing dictates how you think and how you feel about the decisions that you're making in your life. Without knowing, you cannot be interested. Without knowing, you cannot care. Let me explain. As someone who just started to ride along the wave of greatness that is the internet, in order to differentiate myself, I realized that I need to tell my own stories. Therefore, I decided to make a little presentation about how my creative process developed from the early stage of my life to where it is now. It was 8th of April 1997 in Jakarta. My mom gave birth to me. She said it took me 3 days at the hospital to finally come out and say hi to the world. The happiest day of her life, she said. As a kid, I remember that I was a troublemaker.
Why is it when something happens, it is always you?
Fighting with the kids in the neighborhood or at school was an everyday life for me. I was that kid that everybody called the one who's always acting up. Until I was 7, I flew back and forth between Singapore and Indonesia because my dad is from Singapore and my mom is from Indonesia. Most of the time, I grew up with both parents available with all their different traits. I was raised in a balanced environment. My dad is an open-minded kind of parent who's always encouraged me into whatever piqued my interest, while my mom is a conventional kind of parent with stricter rules. See, at the time, I had the opportunity of having a balanced input of both creative side from my dad and also some basic education from my mom. Until I didn't. It was 2004. Because life happened, I had to move and settle in Indonesia for good, which means most of the time, the only parent being present to me was my mom. This is where my acting up began. See, when you were a kid, it almost feels like your life was going on an autopilot.
Automatic pilot.
There it is.
I couldn't understand why I was always frustrated. But because of how my mom raised me, I was always the student with the good grades. Which means, supposedly, there shouldn't have been anything wrong with me. Wrong. When I was in elementary school, I never really embraced the side of me who's really into arts. Which was really nobody's fault. I mean, I was just a kid and art wasn't really my mother's forte. She tried her best though. She gave me books about anything that I'm interested in.
And which truth is that?
Knowledge is power.
With all this new absorbed knowledge, I was really overwhelmed with too much information, with no one to guide and nobody to help me to understand or to digest the information. Therefore, I grew up living half here and half there. Half here being the real world and half there being my creative daydream. But then, I move on into a higher level of education, which means 100% change of environment. My time at junior and senior high was where everything turned for the better. I mean, don't get me wrong, I suck so bad. But there was hope, I guess. I met new friends and mentors who started to guide me and show me the way of what can I do or which way to start. Also, my dad, bless his heart, bought me my first 2 real guitars, one acoustic and one electric. And my uncle, who's a producer, he taught me how to make movies. And as time went by, art stopped being just a daydream for me. I won band competitions with my friends. I got great marks for directing a short movie assignment. I got better with my drawings, all while still maintaining good grades. Everything was really good. But now, I feel like I deliberately neglect my creative side again because I'm still trying to pursue engineering and everything feels just too much.
How can I go back? I'm not who I used to be.
But like I said, I don't want to make any excuses because as someone with ADHD, it can worsen the condition. I feel like I just gotta push through and headbutt everything that comes along the way, but without being a self-destructive person. So yeah, I guess that's it for the introduction from me. I hope you guys can understand where's this all coming from. And as always, let's unscatter this mind.